Hello, my name is John Sebesta. Normally I don't put videos out on YouTube, but today I'm going to definitely make an exception. I'm going to be telling you about, actually, I've had three dreams or three visions. The first vision occurred in Tennessee. There was an earthquake. I was inside of a condo down in Tennessee because I have land down there, and the contractor that I'm working with is allowed me to stay at his condo. And the night of staying there, my body was actually vibrating, and I felt a huge earthquake. And it was near the Mississippi. It would be near that area. But again, it was like a vision. It was the earthquake never really occurred. It just in my dreams it was occurring, and I could feel it. I could actually see windows that were bowed out. Another dream occurred a few months later, and it was a vision where I saw water that was going on somehow from the East Coast, and I kept running up higher and higher on a hillside, and it was a hillside that had a sidewalk, and there were mountains on the one side of the sidewalk, and there was a highway on the other, and I was just running up the sidewalk, keeping away from the water, and every time I looked back, the water was rising. But it was a third vision that affected me the most, and it happened on January 31st, 2018. It was the worst of the three. I say that because in the vision, again, this was the night of the blue moon. The date is now January 31st. It was the night of January 31st. Actually, the vision itself actually occurred on February 1st. Because it was a morning between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock a.m. And in the vision, I found myself in a classroom, and I was standing up on a chair, pointing out my arms, well, at least my one arm anyway, my right arm, and I was looking at my arm itself before I even was saying what I was about to say. I was looking at my arm, and it had tons of droplets of water all over it. And then I must have probably looked at the other arm, and it probably was equally as much water on it as well. These huge droplets. They were probably like a good half-inch of water on each droplet itself, and there was a lot of them. And I was screaming out to the people in the classroom. There were probably about 30 people. Matter of fact, I saw one man who was looking straight at me. He was on the far corner. I was standing on the very back of the room, on the one corner, and I was looking to the opposite corner, probably where the entrance of the room was, yelling out to them. And I saw one man, he was actually quite tall, and he was looking straight at me when I started yelling. And I kept telling them, I told the class, the apocalypse is on us, is upon us. I was also explaining a little bit about apocalypse. It's a more of a maybe a Greek term, but it represents, like for instance, APO. The first three characters of apocalypse means to remove. The last characters of apocalypse, eclipse itself, means like a covering, a veil. It goes back to the Jewish wedding where the bride is covered with a veil, and she uncovers it. And I was explaining to the classroom that the uncovering is happening now. The separation between the bride and the groom is ending. And I guess I was screaming it out with great intensity. And then it was probably then is when the vision was over, and I woke up from my vision. That morning is when I found out about the blue moon, and I realized that there was also some connection between was even going on in the skies. So I'm asking everyone just to make sure. I know the time is very, very close. The rapture is going to happen very, very soon, and I would just pray that everyone knows Jesus. He is the only way. He's the only way, the truth, and life, as written in John. I think it's John 14:6. He is the way, the truth, and life. There is no other way except through Him. And I like another verse was Romans 10:9 is, if you believe in your heart, you say with your mouth that Jesus died for you, He was buried, and He rose again the third day, you're saved. So remember that time is very short, and we could be raptured or we'd be caught up with Jesus at any time now. The clock is ticking. Anyway, thanks. Bye bye.